Two transmitters, two different wires, two completely different signals. So why do people still call Foundation Fieldbus just a fancier HART? By the end of this video, you will know exactly where they split apart and why a bus that lets a valve run its own control loop is a completely different animal from a wire that carries a smarter version of 4 to 20 milliamps. Here is the promise. Signal type, wiring, devices per segment, and control in the field, 4 differences, 1 architecture split. Once you see why Foundation Fieldbus was built digital first, the rest of the comparison falls into place on its own. Quick recap, since we covered this before. HART is fundamentally a 4 to 20 milliamp analog current loop. That current is still the primary process value. A small digital ripple rides on top of it, carrying tag data and diagnostics, but the loop stays analog primary and point-to-point, 1 pair of wires per transmitter. Foundation Fieldbus H1 is different from the ground up. There is no 4 to 20 milliamp value on the wire at all. The process value itself travels as digital data over a 31. That architecture change rewrites the wiring. HART loops normally run home run. Each transmitter gets its own pair, all the way back to the mark. Here's what that looks like at scale. 1 trunk cable, 1 junction box, 8 spurs, transmitters, and a valve positioner, all sharing the same pair of wires and the same digital bus. This 8-device example is illustrative, not a fixed spec. Actual segment capacity depends on the power budget, cable length, and how much current each device draws. This is the real reason Foundation Fieldbus exists. A field-capable device can hold its own function blocks, analog input, PID, analog output, running right inside the housing. A transmitter SAI block and a positioner's PID and AO blocks can execute a control loop without every scan cycle round-tripping through the DCS. Watch the path. Transmitter measures, sends the value over the trunk, positioner's PID block calculates, and the AO block drives the valve, all without leaving the segment. On a HART or plain 4 to 20 loop, that same value has to travel all the way to the controller and back before the valve moves. One clarification before this gets misread. Function blocks distribute execution. They do not remove the DCS. Supervisory control, alarming, coordination across units, and the historians still live at the DCS level. Fieldbus moves where a single loop closes. It does not replace the control system. Common myth. HART is just for calibration. Not true. HART carries live diagnostics, configuration data, device tags, and secondary variables continuously. A handheld communicator session is one use case, not the whole purpose of the digital layer. Second myth. Foundation Fieldbus is only for new plants. Also not true. Fieldbus has been specified for years and coexists with HART loops in brownfield expansions right alongside it. Adoption comes down to whether the application fits, not how old the plant is. Quick check. Which one lets a valve positioner run its own control loop without going through the DCS, HART, or Foundation Fieldbus? Think about it. The answer is Foundation Fieldbus. Its function blocks execute inside the device, right on the segment. HART's loop current stays a single analog primary channel with no shared control bus. Quick summary. HART, analog current, is the value, with a digital overlay, wired point-to-point. Foundation Fieldbus, fully digital, no analog value, wired trunk-and-spur. A typical segment shares several devices on one pair, sized by power budget, not a fixed number. Function blocks let control run inside the device. And the DCS still supervises the plant either way. The split is in where one loop closes, not who is in charge. From 12 years running both kinds of loops in a live refinery, Pick the one that fits the application, not the one that sounds newer. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more videos.